Howdy people, welcome to another video on the channel. Today I am presenting to you the latest installment of the Forest transfer roundup. Never a quiet subject when it comes to my team. However, I'm going to run you through all of the latest transfers over the last week or so. So, sit back, relax and enjoy. And make sure to smash the like button, subscribe if you're new, if you never want to miss a video, turn the notifications bell. Without further ado, let's go. So, as there is no confirmed deals at the time of recording, I am going to get straight into the potential incomings. So, we are kick-starting it with Kelechi IHEANACHO. Now, obviously, technically a rival player in terms of he plays for Leicester. Don't see Leicester as a rival myself, but I suppose location-wise they are. But last season, he made 35 appearances in all competitions, scoring 8 goals and getting 5 assists. However, there was only 11 league starts there, only playing 1,435 minutes, and it was in one of the worst Leicester teams in recent history. Leicester are valuing him at around 8 million quid. Now, I think with the potential sales we could make, which I'll get onto in a second, I think that is a very, very fair valuation for what he's offered to that club over the last 5 or 6 years. Plus, he also knows Taiwo Awoniyi through Nigeria International, so it just makes sense. We need a backup striker. The only concerning thing is, when AFCON comes around, if we get IHEANACHO in, we're going to be very light, and we will be screwed. So that is probably one of the few off-putting things about IHEANACHO, but in terms of a backup striker, I don't think there's many we can get for less than 10 million quid than IHEANACHO. So overall, I think it would be a very good signing, and I think he will add a lot, as well as a lot of Premier League experience. The next player is SESSEGNON, currently playing at Tottenham. Last season, he made 23 appearances, getting 3 goals and 1 assist. He looked like he was going to start regularly under Antonio Conte, but he's never really been able to hit the ground running since leaving Fulham. And he looks like a player that is looking for a consistent place to stay, because he's been in and out of the team. He's been sent out on loan. He went out on loan to Hoffenheim. So, he's looking for some consistency. Don't quote me on this, I'm not too sure, but I'm pretty sure he's worked with Steve Cooper through the England setup. So I just think it'll be a good addition. Another left wing back option if we can't get Brennan Loddy. The only red flag I can really see is he has struggled with a hamstring injury, especially this season, which has kept him out for, I'd say, a good 40% of the season. So that could be a slight issue. He looks very good at attacking. I watched him quite a bit in his time at Fulham. Not really watched much of him at Spurs, but when they did come to the Sea Ground, he played when we lost 2-0. He looked very good at getting forwards. I suppose he did almost look a little bit exposed defensively, but when you play with a back three, you can sort of forgive that. I think he'd be very similar to Nico Williams in terms of, in a 5 at the back, he would be quite good. In a 4, he might get a bit exposed and struggle a bit. However, overall, I don't think Spurs are going to demand too much. I think my estimation is I don't think they will demand much more over 10 million for him, because he's not. I don't think he's got 5 goals overall in his time at Spurs, and I don't think they'll be able to recuperate the amount of money they paid for him. I think they paid the best part of 20 million quid for him. I think he would be a very smart addition if we can't get Loddy. The next player is another goalkeeper option. Bear with me here. Matheus. Definitely butchered that, so apologies. But he is a goalkeeper. He playing out in Portugal for SC Braga. He made 45 appearances last season, getting 20 clean sheets, conceding just the 49 goals, helping Braga to finish 3rd in the Liga Portugal, which is Portugal's top division. It's basically the Portuguese Premier League. Forest did recently submit a bid worth about 3.9 million with some add-ons, so I'm going to say just over 4 million quid. That was rejected, so I'm going to assume Braga value him within the region of 5 million quid, which I don't think would be too bad. Obviously, I still think the priority would be Dean Henderson, but there is an absolute saga. It's like James Garner version 2 from last season. It's an absolute mess. Man United are an absolute pain to negotiate with. Yeah, so it's unfortunately going to drag on. I do think 2 goalkeepers wouldn't be a bad thing, because as much as Wayne Hennessy is a decent backup option and can do a job in a couple of cup games, I think another 2 goalkeepers would be decent. The only sort of sticking point is his age, but then again, 31 for a goalkeeper is like being 27 for an outfield player. You can go until you're about 40. He's not played in the Premier League before. Personally, this is a bit of an outlandish shout. If we can't get Dean Henderson, someone who I think we could get on a very affordable price, Sam Johnston, did absolutely wonderful for West Brom and is currently at Palace. I think he would do a shift. That might be slightly unpopular. I still think Dean Henderson should be the number one priority. However, I'm just going to call him Matheus because I'm pretty sure I can say his first name. I think he would do well. It's just he might take a little bit of time to adapt to the league. I'm unaware if he can speak the language as well, which can be a significant factor, especially in goalkeepers. They need to have good communication. However, I'm sure we've got players in the squad that can speak Portuguese, so that could iron that slight crease out quickly. Next player is another striking option, and it is Joel Piroe, currently playing his football at Swansea. He was originally signed by Steve Cooper. Steve Cooper was the manager, and just a few days later he did resign at Swansea or got sacked. I'm not too sure on the ins and outs. So I'm pretty sure he was a Cooper signing, and Swansea signed him for just £1 million, and he's done absolutely sensationally for them, making 88 appearances across 2 years, scoring 40 goals and getting 8 assists. He's been an absolute revelation for Swansea, and without Piroe, I do not know where they would be. They will be definitely scrapping for League One. However, this season he has made 45 appearances, scoring 20 goals and getting 2 assists, which is a very, very good return. And it's no doubt that he has made some interest. There was some interest last summer, but nothing really materialised, and it looks almost certain that Swansea will look to let go because he's got 2 years left in his contract, I'm pretty sure, and this is probably make or break. This is the best opportunity Swansea have got to make some money on him. However, Everton are also interested. Now, personally, I think a 15 million quid would be a fair valuation. I think Swansea are going to probably value him towards 20 million. I think we might have to pay 15 up front and then maybe add some add-ons. I know Swansea fans value him at the best part of 30 million. Which I think is fair. Obviously, every club overvalues players. Us at Forest, we probably have, in theory, overvalued Brennan Johnson. I said he was worth 70, so you can't blame them for that. And he's been one of their best players in recent history. So yeah, but I think 15 million will be what we have to pay up front. Obviously, as I said, Everton are interested as well. However, he doesn't strike me as a Sean Dyche striker. And with financial fair play, I'm not sure what Everton's financial situation is. There were some rumours about FFP issues, so I don't know if they'll be able to just splash 20 odd million quid on Piroe, who hasn't actually played in the Premier League, so it's a little bit of a gamble. And plus, if Piroe joined Swansea because of Steve Cooper, I'm not too sure if he did, but if that was the case, then that will give Forest the advantage in that transfer. The next player is Callum Hudson-Odoi. Now, Chelsea are looking to have a mass exodus, probably trying to recuperate some of the money that they spent in the last couple of windows. And Callum Hudson-Odoi is set to leave, really. He spent his time last season out on loan at Bayer Leverkusen over in Germany. He made 21 appearances, getting the 1 goal and the 1 assist. So, not insane. However, Cooper does know him from the England setup, which is a positive thing. And I don't think he'll be a bad sign. Can play on the left, can play on the right, can play as number 10. Good if we have some injuries as well. Could probably even fill in at centre forward if we have a mass injury crisis. But with our medical team, it is more than possible we have a mass injury crisis. I think he will be a decent signing. I don't think Chelsea are going to demand much over the 10 million, if anything at all. So I think he would be a good signing. Homegrown player as well, so that plays in a part. And I think overall, got a decent burst of pace, very technical, had a very good spell when Frank Lampard was the manager at Chelsea. And overall, I think he would be a good signing, especially if we can get him under 10 million. If they want like 15, I think that's a little bit too much. I think there's better options for cheaper. However, under 10 million, I would definitely take him. He's got the ability. He hasn't been given many opportunities to unlock it. Similar to how Gibbs White had one opportunity before coming to Forest to show himself, and he did that. Came to Forest, has been one of the star players. I think Hudson-Odoi is in that similar vein, and we can't forget he's just 22 still. So I think he'll be a quality signing. Right, the final potential incoming. I ain't even going to attempt to say his surname. Kerem. That's all I'm going to say, because there is not a chance I'm going to pronounce his surname correctly. So, but yeah, he's currently playing in Galatasaray. He is a Turkish international. He's made 21 caps for the Turkish national team. Already scored 4 goals. So he's already really proving himself on the international stage, which is good, because if you want a big game player, in international football, you play big games pretty much every time you step out. So therefore, he will have that mental strength. For Galatasaray, though, last season made 38 appearances, scoring 10 goals and getting 14 assists. Very well rounded. Not gonna lie, I did not know anything about him when I first saw this rumour. So I had to do some digging. I know it's probably not the best source, but I watched a couple of compilations and he looks so well-rounded, technically brilliant. I know obviously the Turkish league is, and the Premier League is, there's a slight difference. Only a slight, but there's a slight difference. But he looks very technical, very good on the ball, very controlled. And I think he'll be a class addition. Primarily plays on the left wing. If you want to play with wingers next season, then that'll be, I think, a class signing. I wouldn't be surprised if we try and fit him in as a number 10 though, as well. But if we do play with wingers, I think he'll be a great signing, and with what I've seen of him, he looks really bloody good. I'm unaware of if any other Premier League clubs are interested, which is always a good sign, because, you know, if there's only one Premier League club interested, Premier League is one of the most lucrative leagues in the world in terms of competition. And if there's no other clubs, then we've got all the more of a chance of signing him. However, I reckon his valuation will be within the 10 to 15 million region, which I think is fair for the numbers he's pulled out and the ability that I've seen that he's had. The potential outgoings we do have now. First one being Jonathan Panzo. As reported by the Daily Mail, he's expected to be leaving Forest. It was unsure if he was going to rejoin Coventry. Rangers have been interested as well as one or two other clubs. But it looks all but certain that he's going to go to Rangers. They're just finalising a deal. I'm unaware of a price. I've not seen a price. I don't think it'll be any less than 1.5 million, but no more than 3 million. So I'm going to say, for the sake of it, it'll be within the region of 2 million, which we can recuperate what we spent on him. He was signed to be a backup defender in case we got any injuries. He did alright. He only played like 2 games for us. He did what he was going to come in and do and be a backup centre half. Went out loan to Coventry. He did alright. I know he didn't start week in, week out, but I'm fairly confident he did alright. And I think he'll be a very solid signing for Rangers. Wish him best of luck. Next player, I'm pretty sure I did touch on this though in the last one, but there's been some more concrete rumours coming out. It looks like Leeds United are interested in signing Emmanuel Dennis. Dennis scored 2 goals in 25 appearances for Forest, and he's one of those players, I'm fairly confident I did say this in the last one, but he's looks like one of those players that if we keep him, alright, decent impact sub. If we sell him, okay, we're probably not going to get like the 12.5 million that we paid for him. If we get something in the region of 10 though, I will be a very happy man. I say, his decision making in the final third, sometimes hogging the ball a little bit, has been frustrating, but towards the second half of the season, he has shown a lot more promise, and he's looked better. However, if we can get the 8 to 10 million pound region to cover the transfer for IHEANACHO, I would take it. Next player is Lewis O'Brien. Now, he spent the second half of the season out on loan at DC United. It looked like he was going to go to Blackburn, but the deal fell through, which is a shame because I think he would have been able to showcase his skills more at Blackburn than DC United. But he did pretty well at DC United from the clips I've seen, and that he did look like he did quite well. But Sheffield United are interested. Now, Forest are reluctant to sell, reportedly, because there is a very good chance we'll be within the same region as Sheffield United, and you don't want to strengthen another team. I personally think we should keep him because he is not worse than Shelvey or Freuler. I think we should keep him. Danilo, Yates, Mangala, O'Brien. That is a solid midfield four. Plus another midfield addition, preferably Tyler Adams or Mendy. You know, that is a good midfield. And, you know, it saves us having to do loads and loads of business in terms of signing players. So I think we personally should keep him because he did very well when he played. However, if we want to sell him, I'd rather it not to be Sheffield United just because there's a very good chance they will be within the same region of the table as us. Final player, I say this with a slight heavy heart, Sam Surridge. Now, I personally think he deserved far more chances in the league than what he got, just making the one Premier League start, and I'm pretty sure that was on game week 1. When Awoniyi was injured, he was doing very well when he came off the bench. He was doing very well in the Cup, and he deserved far more starts than what he got. He was warranting being in the starting 11 over Andre Ayew, but we just weren't starting him. I think he had the capabilities to start, and he did alright when he came on. You know, there's some games where he was a little bit ineffective, like the Blackpool game in the Cup. However, he still deserves far more than what he's got. It looks set he's going to go to Ipswich. A couple of other Championship clubs are interested there, but it looks set he'll be going to Ipswich. I personally would prefer a loan. I think a loan would be better, but if he's going to transfer, I won't hold him to that because, well, not like I know him personally or anything, but I think he'll get the regular football he deserves, especially at Ipswich, and I think Ipswich are going to have a very good season next year. But yeah, I do wish him best of luck if he does go. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you smash the like button, subscribe if you're new. If you never want to miss any of these news videos, turn on the notifications bell Follow me social medias, they are all linked in the description. And I'll see you all next time. Up the Reds!